All right, welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I'm your man, Big Jack. This is where we prove we are stronger together, that if each one would reach one, we can all grow and glow. And today is just another beautiful day. We're in the month of July. We've talked about that in the last episode. We just crossed into July, and I am super, super excited. But this is a very, very busy week for me. I would say, it's not so much busy, but there's a lot going on for this week. And I say that because today is Pharaoh Keys' birthday. So those who know and been watching the show, the Iron Sharpening Iron Show, the We Be Jamming Live show, we know that the heavy hitters and the keyboard player for the heavy hitters is my son, Jaron Jackson. And today is his birthday. So Pharaoh Keys, happy birthday to you. Tomorrow will be my anniversary. So that'll be my wedding anniversary. And then the day after that will be my wife's birthday. So the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th is super busy. So my pockets are bare. Make sure everybody's taken care of. So that's super busy. But I know that's enough for me talking about me. And, I want to bring my partner on so we can get a little going on, because we got a super guest today, a super, super, super guest. And we don't want to waste and slow any time down so we can get that guest up on the stage today. So give me 1 second. We're going to get our man up on the stage, and here we go. My man, Walt Talks. What's up, my brother?
My man. What's happening, Big Jack? How you doing, sir?
Man, it's all good. It's all good. Man,
I see what you did, man. The 6th, 7th, and 8th, man. You can't forget that. That's pretty good. That's pretty
No,
good.
look. I had two of them I had no controls over at all.
I get that.
So you already know how that go. But
you ran the parlay. You ran the parlay. That's pretty good.
Anybody know my favorite number is 7. So my favorite number is 7. And should it be 18 years with my wife, and the dates happen to line up. So July 7 of 2007 is when we got married. So my sevens was able to 777. It all lined up. So it was pretty cool that it happened. Man. But then I got the 6, the 7, and the 8, and so it gets a little tight this time of year. So how you doing today?
I can't complain, Jack. I'm good, man. Hey, man, I did absolutely nothing today, and I was 30 minutes late doing that. So I'm good. Yeah. Nice, easy Sunday.
Put your hands up so I can see. Let me see your fingers. What you got? You went out there blowing your fingers off and all that.
No. You know, man, safety first for me. I don't touch fireworks, man. But unfortunately, we made an announcement. Every fire department across the country is talking about it, and there's still people who lost fingers this weekend. So that's a shame, man.
Yeah. So I mean,
one of them was
can only tell. Go ahead.
Famous rapper, not famous.
You pausing? Yeah. So, but for those who did, and you're in a pause, Walt, so I'm not sure what's going on. So, but it's unfortunate anyone that would hurt themselves and things like that when doing something that's simple. Well, not so much as simple, but it's just fireworks and celebrating, and then at the same time you're getting hurt. So that takes the celebration away. So with all of that being said, and I see Walt's back. So all right, so yeah, man. You get your internet from Temu, huh?
No, well, man, they got this new network out. It's like $29 a year, and I thought I'd give it a shot, man.
Okay.
It's like coming to America. You've heard of McDowell's? They had McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, they got Xfinity. I got Yfinity. So there it is, man. Yeah.
No, I got you, bro.
You got to know the difference between cost and value, and clearly I don't, man. I mean,
so good, man. So good.
Yeah.
But look, we got a great show today, man. We got a great show today.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. We've been hyping it up, but it's really hard to hype up someone that's been doing so great, and it's wow, because this is the first for the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. This is the first for me because a former teammate of mine, this is his daughter. So I've never had a child of a teammate on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I've had my own kids on, but never
Yeah.
one. So it's been, I think, probably a little bit over 35 years since I met her dad and her mom. And we got a wonderful guest coming up on the stage, track star. And we ain't talking the track runner, we're talking a track
No, track
star.
star,
I mean, this
superstar.
person, I mean, she's holding records in her high school, in her state from Pennsylvania. Then she went on to college and put more stuff up on the board and really out there just dominating the track world. And the toughest part about it is she's running at speeds that I didn't even know was available or was possible. And then at the same time, she's jumping hurdles at the same time. So I'm like, this is
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
how great she is. And I'm looking forward just to talking more about her and talking to her, not so much talking about her. But just so we're gonna have to get her up on the stage so we can see what's going on. So you
absolutely.
ready to get her up here?
Let's
Let's
get
get
it,
her up
man.
on
My
stage. All
knees
right.
hurt just thinking about jumping hurdles, but let's go.
Hey, yeah, right. You got it, bro. There you go. So welcome. Let's get her to the stage. All right, there she is. Sanaa
Yes.
Hebron. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great, doing great. It's great to have you here on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show, and I'm super excited to have you here. Again, I've known your parents for uh, decades, at least 3.5 decades. I've known them, and to have you on the stage is just it's wonderful to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, look, that's cool. That really is cool. I mean, I know we're like you look at why I got to talk to these old people. I know we're old, it's all good. But trust me, we at one time we were in your level. We was at your spot. So and maybe not as good as you are in what you do, but at the same time we were doing it back way back in the day. Back when it was old days. Before cell phones, before computers and all that. We was
So,
back.
so
Go
what
ahead.
he's saying is not a lot of documentation, but he and your father were pretty good. I understand.
Yeah, he was pretty good. That you might see him on when they do those documentaries of how it was back in the day, but it's all good. So tell us one, I knew your dad, and then but this is your turn and this is your time. So how did you get started? Because I know you're into track, correct? Okay,
Yes.
and you're now at Miami University. All right,
Hmm.
so it's one, and am I saying it right, or should I just say the U? Because I know anybody there, it's the U,
The
right?
U works. The U
The
works.
U works. Okay, so I'll respect the people at the U because like Miami's like Baltimore, so they claim all other universities in the country, but we're the U, so nobody else counts except for us. Am I right, or am I missing something here?
Definitely, the 305 doesn't play when it comes to the U. So I totally agree.
I got you. Okay. So I remember with Baltimore, and that's where your dad from. I believe he's out of that Baltimore area.
Yes, he
And
is.
they were like, where you from? I'm from Baltimore. Like, where you from? I'm from PG County. Oh, you from Maryland. Like, you know that Baltimore is in Maryland, right? Yeah. No, it's Baltimore and then it's the rest of it.
The
So
rest of the
I see
state. Yeah.
the U, and then it's the rest of the colleges in the country. So
Yes,
okay. So now you're a student athlete. We got that part. So and student first. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm gonna be a student first. But you're a track runner. So you run track. You run the 400-meter hurdles. Is that your
yes.
specialty? So what
That
got you into? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's definitely my specialty. I started track around middle school, but I was first a soccer player. I decided to run track just because I really liked running. I didn't start hurdling until almost like the end of high school. So 400 hurdles came much like further in my career. I usually was just a sprinter. So adding 400 hurdles, it's truly like my favorite event to do in track field.
Okay. All right. So you just like running, and so that's where that the 400 I guess came from. Because that's not an easy race. A 400 is that's like either a sprinter or you long distance, and the 400 is that person that's in the middle. They're like I'm not gonna say it's not confused, but it takes a little bit more endurance, a little bit more. The four corners is a little bit tougher than just running a straightaway or the 200 and all. So and you say 400 hurdles is your specialty, and I
Yes.
heard that you run the 400 though. You can run the 400 as well.
Yes, I do run the 400. Usually during indoor season, I'll focus on that more because the 400 hurdles doesn't exist indoor. So that's usually when I run my 400s. And then outdoor, I'll do the 400 hurdles and the 4x4 at meets. So that's when I get like my 400 stuff in the relay.
Okay. So and so all right. So you say in the indoor track, so there is no 400 hurdles in indoor. So
No, it's not an event. So usually if you're a 400 hurdler, you're either going to go up, like you're going to do the 800, or you're going to run the 4, or maybe if you're like a hurdler that does like short hurdles, you can do like the 60 hurdles. But I just do 400 hurdles. So when I go indoor, I run the 400.
I got you. Okay. All right. So when I was back in the day, this is a long time ago, when they had the dirt tracks, we didn't have, no, really wasn't that long ago, but I ran the 400 as well. Okay. I ran it slow though. I didn't run like you. Okay. We were trying to break 60. Like if we could do it in a minute, we thought you was the stuff. I mean, you thought you was big time if you did it in a minute. So what's the fastest you've ever run a 400?
Open 400, my PR is 52 seconds.
Wow.
52 seconds. Wow. Yeah, that's
time amazing. Around the track, 52 seconds.
Time. One lap around the track in 52 seconds.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So hats off to you for sure. That's great. Now, all right. So you run the hurdles as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
400 hurdles. What's your fastest in the 400 hurdles?
400 hurdles, my fastest time at the moment is 55 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So you're 3 seconds different jumping over something. Yeah, that's amazing. Hats off to you. Really, really hats off to you. It was funny because we was nobody in the state was running like that. So and I think you're in the level in a world by yourself. It's very limited people that's running at that speed. So you're world class speed and all of that. And I for sure know that. So can you tell us and I know you said you decided, okay, I guess you were playing soccer, say, hey, let me try out for track. And then you got out there and did you just like blow the coach's mind when you stepped out on the track? Because like, where did this person come from?
Okay, so I would say like in my area, I was pretty good when I first started track. Like I thought I was like really good. And then I would say my first like eye-opening experience.
Your mic went down. Wait a minute, your mic went down. Yeah. Great.
52 seconds, Jack.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that 52 seconds. Yeah. I'll let her get her mic back together. Yeah, It's okay. So
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. So trust me, you ain't by yourself. We all go there. So you're saying, so in your area, you were saying.
Yeah, in my area, I thought I was really good. And then when I started club track, I ran for Trenton Track and Field Club. And I went to AAU Nationals in Florida, Orlando. And I was in the 400. And I remember I PR'd by 3 seconds. And I still didn't make it to the final. And I was like, wow, okay. There's definitely a lot more people that are much better than me. And I just didn't know because I was like that in my area, but not in general. I would say right then and there, I was like, wow, track and field just has a lot of talent and there's a lot of people out here. And so that's like what really made me want to push in track and field.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things we've seen a lot, especially when you go into college. So you're catching it earlier, which was good, because in your area you're like the big fish in the little pond. Like you're the, and then when you go somewhere, and that's a little story I tell all the time. And Walt knows about it. Like being recruited, I was like, I'm one of the top players on the East Coast, and I'm being recruited. But then when I got to Virginia Tech and I met the other, I was one of the top 50 players. Like, hey. I got to Virginia Tech. I met the other 49. So it's like, yeah, you're not. Everybody is really good we're at that level. So for you to see that at an early age that's really good for you and very beneficial. So was that a motivator for you? Is that what pushed you to say, wait a minute, I ain't coming back like this. I'm gonna be better.
I would definitely say that was a motivator. Also to like continue to push yourself even in your area too. Like I would focus on trying to separate as much as I could. So when I got in environments where I'm not the best, I was able to like rise to the occasion. But that was definitely an eye opener that just being like that girl in your area doesn't mean you're that girl like everywhere. So
Yeah. Well, no, that's true. I mean, you think especially in track and field or any event, like you say, there's always someone that's working hard to be the best in their area and to be the best on the track. And so, how does it work when you're prepping for a race? I know, like if we're playing golf or playing football, you practice, you got plays, so you're running track. How does that work? What's the mindset on the track? Do you have what's the plan? How do you break it down?
So the plan, I would say, honestly, especially for the 400 hurdles, is the race can be.
Yeah, it went out again. We'll let you. Well, it did went out again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. I would say the race can be very unpredictable because of the barriers. So honestly, just running open and running free, and then also just being able to attack like every hurdle is usually like my race plan going into every 400 hurdle race.
Okay. So what does he mean to say attack the hurdles? What does that mean?
I would say especially like any like novice hurdle when you first start, it's very hard to not be scared of the hurdles, like because you're running towards something and like it should be full speed. So it can be kind of scary to attack it. So really just running through the hurdle instead of like running like you know you have to hurdle, like running straight through and then keep pushing.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Let's take it back for 1 second. So the 400, how many hurdles in the 400 race and how far are they apart? So can you give us an idea?
Yes. There's 10 hurdles in the 400 hurdle race, and the first hurdle is 45 meters away, and then every hurdle from then is 35 meters, and then the last one is a 40-meter sprint after hurdle 10.
So timing is everything. I mean, you really need to be, and you have to have good vision, good depth perception, so that you won't go head first into these hurdles, right? So help me understand this. When I look at track and field, especially the ladies, I mean, the competition is incredible, but it seems like you guys have a real tight community. Is that true? I mean, you're even though it's small because there's only so many people that's running this race in the nation, right? But it seems like the community is pretty supportive of one another. Is that what you find it to be, or am I imagining this?
I do, honestly, especially in collegiate track and field. I feel like a lot of us girls have been racing each other for like so long. It's definitely like a tight knit group of like knowing your own people. And then even going to your own event, like 400 hurdles, you're going to know all the girls that run 400 hurdles. Right. Honestly, like just a mutual respect for everyone and like knowing how much it takes to be there. I think it's definitely like a tight knit group for everyone that's involved.
No, that's a good question, Walt. I mean, it really is, because I know growing up, we looked at everybody we was competing against as like the enemy. You didn't respect them, but now I see if I had a different mindset, I would probably. I know for sure I'd have worked with the people different than I did when I was in school. You know, and that's one of those things that I wish if I could go back and do it again. It's like even though I am competing against you, but you're not my enemy. You know, I want to see if you could break a world record. I want to see you break it too. You know, if we're trying out, because that might be your teammate, believe it or not. Because say you're all trying out for the Olympics and you all find yourself on an Olympic team or whatever. You know, I got the fourth leg, but this person got the first leg, and that person that you thought was an enemy end up being your teammate. So it can be that way. So we have a question out in the chat, and it's Lakeside Laura says, how many miles do you run a week? So I guess in your practice and warm-ups, do you run miles or you just focus on your 400? Okay, yeah, it's muted again.
I personally don't run any miles, but I think if you would add up like how much I do within a warm-up and then like some racing reps that I do, it might add up to some miles. But me personally, I don't ever do like actual miles in practice.
Okay. That's that's a good one. Now, and when y'all practice, is it the women and the men together, or is it the separate the teams as far as when y'all practice?
It varies depending, like everyone has different practice times, but there are times when we're out there and the men are also out there. So it just depends like which group is out and like whose times is what. But for the most part, there will be like the men's team also out there when the women are out there.
Okay.
So you are a student athlete, of course. So what are you studying at the U? What is your major?
I'm a psychology major with a creative writing minor.
Okay. So how do you integrate practice into your schooling? How does that work?
So we get like basically kind of like your schedule. We can pick our schedule a lot earlier than like regular students to
Okay.
kind of build our schedule to work with practice as well.
Okay.
Because there's certain times like we can't be at class. So I would say for the most part, since we have like early weights, especially in the fall, it's around like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So we can't have an 8 a.m. So for the most
Mhm.
part, a lot of my classes take place around like 10 to like 1 being the cutoff. And then I can have night classes around like 6:30. So that's usually around like what my school schedule would be like for classes.
So in the height of your season, give me a typical day of Sanaa Hebron. I mean, you wake up, you have your breakfast. You tell me what give us a snapshot of your day if you can.
Okay, so I would say in the height of my season, usually towards like when it was our like peak season, we would have around weights being like 7:30. So I would wake up around probably 6:15. I'd head to the weight room. We'd have practice, maybe like an hour. And then I'd probably have class around 10:10. So I would go eat breakfast at the dining hall and then head to class. And I might have about like an hour free before I have my afternoon practice. And then afternoon practice, depending on what day I had, if I was doing like just hurdles or if I had to do like practicing for the relay, I might be there for around like 2.5 to 3 hours. And then we'll have either prehab, which is like exercises we do to make sure we stay healthy, or like we'll have treatment to do recovery. And then after that, I'll go home and eat some dinner.
Okay.
So for 55 seconds, that routine is going leading up to a race, a competition. 30 days of real intense training, or you would say, the people see
Yes.
that for 55 seconds and they just basically you're a natural born athlete, but people don't see the work that you put in, the dedication, the commitment that you put into being this student athlete. So congratulations, and especially when you realized the competition was so fierce, you accepted that challenge. You understood the assignment and stepped right in there. So you're very competitive by nature, I would imagine, right?
Yes, for sure.
Good for
All
you.
right.
So how did you get that competitive spirit? Is it around the house? You have
Um,
siblings or what?
I do have a lot of siblings. I would say it definitely started at a young age. My dad was my coach and he like trained all of us. So just having like a healthy competition with all my siblings definitely like inspired me to be the competitive person I am.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and that is really good. So and the I'm listening to you break it down. So do you have film time? Do you actually watch yourself run and then like coming out the blocks or whatever? Do you take time and actually watch the game film, or I guess it was a track film or whatever?
Yes, we do film in practice. Like for my hurdling, my coach will have it filmed like during practice so I can see it in real time. But for races, we'll like schedule times with our coach to meet in so we can watch like our races. We watch over relays because there's certain like technical stuff that you just need to see like afterwards so you can really like understand. So yeah, we do have film from time to time. Some people more than others depending on like how much they want to see it, but we definitely do have film.
I got you. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a lot more into it than a lot of people would think. And so, and you
Yeah.
are you in a dorm situation now, or you're in your own like
I
off
just
campus?
moved. I just moved into apartment, but
Oh,
for my freshman and sophomore year at the U, I was on campus.
And was it like an athletic dorm, or was it just a general student dorm?
The dorm that I stayed in for the first 2 years, it's kind of like an athletic dorm because the only athletes that can be there, like as an athlete, you can be there as a freshman, but as a normal student, you can only go your sophomore year. So it's kind of ends up being kind of like an athletic dorm if you're younger because there's only like younger athletes in there.
I got you. Okay, all right. And because of all that you've done right now since you've been at the school, when you walk around campus, do anyone recognize who you are? Do they call you out? They shouting your name as you're walking down the class?
No, but I think honestly too, like just with the school, there's so many different like athletes here. I'm sure some people know who I am, but when I go to class, I haven't. From time to time, maybe, but not too often.
Okay. All right. So what we're on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. We got a couple of people that's there in the chat, and we thank you all for popping in. And we got Sanaa Hebron with us on the stage. We're gonna take a quick break, and while we do this break, we're gonna see it's gonna be a real quick break because we're gonna show a video of you running. So we know how fast that's gonna be. So we're gonna be back in probably about a minute because she'd be flying. I'm telling you, she'd be flying. So let me see if I can get one of your races up. And while it's running, we'll be right back on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. All right, all right. Welcome back to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show, and we got Sanaa Hebron with us on the stage. And so that was in the ACC, what's it, tournament? I guess it was the conference tournament.
Yeah, the ACC conference, that was the prelim round. So that was the first round of the 400 hurdles.
Okay, all right. So, and I see you posted what was it, a 55? It looked like you were just running by yourself. So is it to when you get in the blocks and you look over to your left, you look to your right and you see who's there and you're like, yeah, do you take it easy or do you just like, I still got to run my race? What do you do?
Honestly, for a prelim round, I would say since we have a day in between, because it goes like the 400 hurdles is on Thursday, then Friday will be like the 400 and like hundreds, and then the next day will be the final day. So having a day to recover, I really try to push myself and kind of like simulate what I'll feel in the final. So I personally like try to go as hard as I can.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that's let me say it. If you told me that was a track, college track meet, and those were college athletes, because every school that was represented, they're just like you, and to see the results, I'm like, well, what college they go to? Because those are ACC students, those are ACC teams that wow, yeah, you got some super skills on you, so that's pretty cool, really, really. So, and who's your role models in the track world? So your mentors, who do you look at as far as your motivation? I want to be like this person.
I would say for me, it would be Sydney McLaughlin. She definitely has changed the event. Like she has broken so many barriers that so many people didn't even know was possible. So I would say definitely her. She's like the greatest to ever do it. So trying to like push myself to get to that point because she's done so many great things for the sport, and honestly just calling like so many people to look and want to watch 400 hurdles even more. So definitely Sydney McLaughlin.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that's now it's it when you're on the track and you're getting ready for a race, and I know the meets are long, so you're traveling to wherever and you're there. So what's the setup like? I've seen a video, I've seen a team out there. They had a whole tent and stove and refrigerators and all. So how's the setup for you in the college world when you go away?
I would say it definitely varies whether like we drove or not, but for the most part, if the meet's not in Florida, we'll like fly. Every school usually has like their own tent, and everyone has like fans. You have seats. We always have snacks and water. We have our athletic trainers, so we have like our like massage tables. So that's usually like the common setup that we have for the most part.
Okay. All right. So, and do you wander from Miami's tent to other colleges' tents? How does that work? Go no.
You can, I would say, like if you know somebody, but for the most part, like when it's meet day, you just locked in, you're focused on yourself.
I got you. Okay. All right. I got you. I mean, I know with the now it's the same for college track as it is like with football and basketball with the portal, as far as people transferring and things as soon as the season over. So, do you go look into Wake Forest tent and see if what they got? So, if I want to transfer, is it the
I
same
would
now?
I would say the transfer portal is crazy in track and field too. There's definitely
Mm.
a lot of moves that happen. I don't know personally like when it opens, but I do know for sure it happened a lot after nationals ended. A lot of people did get out of the transfer portal for sure.
Oh wow, wow, that's good. Well,
So people who transfer, who take advantage of the portal, what exactly are they looking for in the track and field world? What opportunities are presented themselves at another school that may not be they are not presented at their school? Explain that to me. I can never understand.
I would say it definitely varies from like person to person, like what they're looking
Hmm.
for. I know some people transfer if they've had like bad experiences at a school and they've tried
Hmm.
like thugging it out and like, kind of staying to the course, but it just hasn't worked out. I know some people transfer if they were treated like poorly after an injury, or they're just looking for like different training and they just think like another coach can make it happen, or if they don't have like any training partners, because certain events like honestly like you need people to be around to like reach your full greatness.
Okay.
So there's so many different reasons people can transfer.
So, but in the track and field world, there is no bench per se. So it's like you're on a team, you're getting time, you're getting track time. It's not like you're waiting in the wings. Like I don't get to run these races that they brought me here to run. Like the football player may not get playing time, or basketball doesn't get playing time. So it's those other personal matters more so that really get people going in other directions. So that's
I do think some track teams, if you have a really big team,
mhm.
you might not be like put on a relay team, or you might
Okay,
not be traveling. So there's some reasons like that where you could maybe enter the transfer portal if like you're just in such a big team, you're just not getting like as many
okay,
opportunities. That could be the case too.
okay.
uh,
Cool.
so and I know your freshman year, was it your freshman year? You came out the blocks. No pun intended, but you did. You came out the blocks like a superstar. You ran, and you just tore up the track, and you ended up in, was it Panama? You ended up going to Panama. All right,
I
so
moved to the Pan Am team and we ran in Puerto Rico.
and you ran to
Wow.
Puerto Rico. Okay,
Mhm.
and you won your event for the U20, so the under 20. So everyone in your event was 20 or younger. And I guess what's the next one? 18? Is it an 18 under? Or is it, what's the next
Um,
level?
Usually, sometimes they have like a U18, but for the most part, if you're under 20, you can be at the U20
All right.
championship.
So you was in the under 20 and you won, I guess you was the fastest in the world then. So that's a world event, correct? Oh,
Wow.
wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty, it's not
Wow.
Thank
cool. That's amazing. Yeah, congratulations on that. So yeah,
you.
that's super hype right there too. Just say at that one time in your life you're the fastest in the world in your event, and
What
that's what's up. That's really all I can keep saying to you is congratulations for sure, for sure.
is
Yeah.
that when you clocked the 55-second time, or is when you won when you got that title, or explain that to me?
When I won that title, it actually was like raining like really, really badly, and we had like
Mhm.
a bunch of like lightning delays. So I
Wow.
ended up running 56 at that time. I didn't hit 55 until this year. So at that
56
Mhm.
time,
seconds.
56 was my PR.
I'm
Now
still
and I
saying like
correct.
56 seconds around the track, man. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
in the rain on a wet track.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
Thank you.
On a wet track. That's amazing. So I got a question for you because I'm switch it up just a little bit to the relay, the team, your relay team, because you've also won a couple of times with your relay team. Yeah, I have a couple of I guess conference championships and all with your okay. And what's the most important part of the relay team in your opinion? Because I got this thing in my mind. I want to see if we're on the same page. So the most important part of the relay team, what do you think that is with y'all?
I would say it varies like depending on the race and like who you're racing, but I would say for the most part, it's between first leg and anchor. That's like my personal opinion, just because like the first leg they started off and the anchor finishes it. So I think for the most part, it's between those two.
Okay, all right. And with that one, do you have to? I think the first lap you have to stay in your lane, and then you can come out, or how does it work for the 400?
For the 400, the first leg stays in their lane the whole time, and then second leg they break after 100. So they run a curve in that lane, and then they cut in, and then after that, everyone's in lane one.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And a lot of the races I've seen you run, you're normally like sixth or seventh in that lane. In that lane, you're never on the inside lane. So is that something you get to pick, or is that something they pick for you, or they just tell you where you're going to come out of?
So for lane assignments, it's based off of seating. So depending on like how fast you are seated, like within that heat. So if you're like, especially once you get to collegiate, if you're like top in the heat, you're gonna be like 6, 7, 5. Those are usually like the preferred lanes. And then after that, it starts like trickling in and out between like third, fourth seed, fifth seed, and so on.
Wow.
So I understand the assignment piece, but as a runner, explain to me, make me understand fifth, sixth, and seventh versus 1, 2, and 3 as far as the lane assignment. What the mindset? How does that affect your mindset? Like, what are you looking for? What advantages or disadvantages or perceived advantages or disadvantages do you have as a runner?
I would say some of it can like just be like mental, but for the most part, like if you are one of the fastest runners, if you're in lane 6, you have the second fastest girl right in front of you, and then you have the third fastest girl right behind you. So it's kind of nice that you're being pushed from both like ends, like behind and front. And then if you're in the inside lane, like being in lane 1, you just have like so many people to break the stagger on. So it's like a lot of people to chase. And then if you're in lane 9, you're not seeing anyone. So you're kind of running like blind because you don't know until the stagger's breaking on you, like how fast everyone's going. So there's kind of like a different mindset depending on like which lane you are, kind of like how hard you have to push out and like really push yourself in the race.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wow. I mean, it is. I'm telling you, it's a break. See, that's why I was more when I was talking earlier, Sanaa, we were talking about the strategy. So it's like, okay, I need to be in lane 5. I need to be in lane 6. You want to get in those spots because it's a strategy. You just broke it down to us because it is a stagger start. We can see that. But then the first set of hurdles, they're even. So you have to. So is there any advantage in that? If you was in, like, say, in 7 or 8, it's less running before you get to the hurdles, or it's still 400, but it just seemed like it's not right. It's like whoever's in 7 and 8 is not running as much as 1 and 2, or maybe I'm missing something.
I would say, I mean, the hurdles are set up like everyone has the same distance away, but from the stagger, like if you're on lane 9, you're hitting your first hurdle like much farther into the track than I am. So, I mean, it's kind of like you kind of have to not pay attention to that too much because that can like mess up your own race. I would say hurdles kind of keep you like focused on yourself. But definitely like it's a different race depending on where you are. I know some people don't like being in like lane 2 because how tight the curve feels and trying to stay like inside the lane. But I would say it definitely like varies from like person to person. And sometimes like on different tracks, it just seems like the hurdles are farther out, to be honest.
So I don't want you to give away your secrets on this worldwide podcast. So don't give away your secrets. But I know you have a favorite lane. We don't need to know what it is. We don't want anybody using that against you. But you're running one race a day or 2. How does that work? And my question is, if you're in different lanes, how much focus does that require? How much does it require you to refocus on what you're doing? Because like you said, if you go from 2 to 9, well, in your case, 5 to 9, let's say, that's a big difference in how you're approaching these hurdles, how you're attacking these hurdles. So explain that to me.
I would say it varies. Like at ACCs, in the final day, I had to do the 4x1, the 400 hurdles, and the 4x4. So that day I was in 3 races. But usually I would be in like depending on if it's not like a conference meet or trying to make it to nationals, I'll usually have like 1 to 2 races a day. But lane wise, I would say our coach kind of like prepares us to be able to run in any lane. I practice in a bunch of different lanes throughout practice. So it's not like if I'm put in lane 2, because the faster you get, you might not be number 1 in your heat. And so you have to be able to run out of every single lane. So our coach kind of like makes us be able to do that, so you're not like shocked at any point, like depending on the meet. Because also sometimes like at ACCs the lanes are randomized, so you could be number 1. My freshman year I was the number 1 seed and they put me in lane 2 for the prelims. I PR'd, so it's like lanes sometimes it's only like in the mind that the lane is really messing you up. So I would say like just being able to attack it and like know that either way you're going around.
So did you give me the term? I'm sorry, give me 1 second, Jack. PR, explain that term, please.
Oh, PR is like personal record, so it's like your personal best.
Yeah. Sorry, from lifting weights to like you PR'd in the bench or you PR'd in your squats or whatever. Yeah.
That's for the jack. That's for the jack leg section of the spectators. You know, just guys, just the jack legs spectator section. Thank you very much.
So for us that don't know, how high are the hurdles? And do you have to be a tall person, or is that an advantage of being a taller athlete?
The hurdles for the 400 hurdles is 30 inches. So it's not too tall for like majority of women. I think it's like near your hip or maybe like a little below. So it's not too tall, but I would say like when you get lactic acid and it's like towards the end of the race, it feels a lot taller than what they are, to be honest.
Oh yeah. And I've seen, as a matter of fact, we're gonna have to show one. So I'll show one. I know from your freshman year to your sophomore year, and I'm only going by videos and pictures that I've seen. And if you don't want to share, it's okay. But it looked like you had an injury. Did you have an injury? So
yes. Yeah. Last year I broke my foot. I was supposed to be out for like 3 months, but it turned into being a whole year thing because like getting back with rehab, and I didn't get cleared when I was supposed to. So I did have to redshirt my original sophomore year. And then this year I finally got cleared to play and I was back to running track.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I'm glad that you're back out there running. And I guess the injury was taken care of because you're running just as fast or faster than you were before. So that's pretty cool. So glad for you on that. Go ahead, Walt.
So I know you're a superstar in track, but what are your sports that you like to enjoy, that you enjoy for recreation? Basketball, volleyball, bowling, golf, any other sports you like?
Like playing or like watching?
No, playing. I mean, like to play, like, and you're good at it. You're just not, that's not what you're doing in college. But you can say, you know, you're an athlete. I'm sure you're an athlete and you come from an athletic family. So what other sports do you play?
Field hockey in high school, and I was pretty good at field hockey. I would say that was something I did to kind of get like a break from doing track like all year round. So that one. I do like doing Top Golf. Other than that, I don't really do like other sports just because, you know, I don't want to get hurt doing something I'm not supposed to do, or like something that it's not my level and it's not what I'm here to do. But I definitely enjoy like watching football, watching basketball. Soccer is really cool to watch too. I used to play that. I played it for about like 12 years, but I just don't have love for it, so I don't really do it as much.
Okay. Oh, no, that's good. So we're going to take another quick break. It's going to be a short one because I got another video because we're going to pump up. We're going to pump up. So for everyone that's out there in the chat right now, before we take this break, we're going to ask you to, if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button. B is out there. B is out there hitting the dropping the links and all of that. So, and she's also dropping her link. I think she's 3 away from 5,000 subscribers. Yes. So if you have not subscribed to B, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and pick up B for her 5,000. Let's make sure she get that before this show is over. And I know Sanaa's link is out there. And if you haven't subscribed there, because you want to watch and follow, because she's doing great things. And I do see Von Hebron's out there. He said, what does and we got you. We'll get that. We'll get some of these questions when we come back. So let's drop the We Be Jamming commercial, and then we'll hit one more race from so give me 1 second, and we got it.
Get ready for the ultimate live experience. Join us on stage where music, poetry, and comedy collide in a night to remember. Top musicians, spoken word artists, and comedians come together for a unique and unforgettable show. From soulful melodies to side-splitting jokes, this jam-packed event has it all. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as we bring you the best of the best in this one-of-a-kind performance. Are you ready for the next We Be Jammin' Live?
All right, all right. Welcome back to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. Got my guest Sanaa Hebron on. And what race was that? And where were you at? Do you remember that?
That was regionals. I believe it was the final round of it. So that was like me punching my ticket to nationals.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So that's it seems like maybe I'm wrong, and you can explain it to me. Is that like the last 40 meters of the race, so that straightaway, is that when you kick it into a different gear? Because to me it seems like that's when you just like, the rest of y'all is out of here. I'm out. I'm done.
I would say that's one of my specialties is like the last 3 hurdles. We definitely practice that a lot. So I would say like that's one of my big focus points is like really sealing the deal at the end.
Okay, sealing the deal at the end. I like that. I like that. I like that. So one of the questions that came up in the chat, and it was what does the rest of the season look like for you? So what does the rest of the season look like?
So I have a meet next week. It's a pro meet that I'll be competing at, kind of to like break up my training cycle for USATF trials, which is like trying out for the USA team at the end of July, like beginning of August.
Okay, all right. Excuse me. And so that you said that's a pro trial. So what's there's a professional level of track and field?
Yes, they're professionals for track and field. It's basically like a meet because pros, they can't, like college, we run like year round because obviously like we're competing for our college. So pros, like they have pro meets where they're running to like be prepared for like a bunch of different meets and like to make teams. So I'll be competing in like one of the pro sections for the 400 hurdles next week.
Okay. And what are your goals? What's the end goals that you're trying to accomplish with track?
I would love to go pro in track and field, and honestly, like keep making USA teams and keep pushing myself would be one of my end goals for sure.
Okay, all right, that's pretty cool. So now you're a student, and we know that you're studying. So are you a good student, or is that one of those things that you're a scholar athlete where you're making really good grades and you're really good on the field, on the track? How's that going for you?
I would say I'm doing pretty well. Obviously, like with age and being deeper into school, like really understanding the importance of time management and staying on top of things, the importance of office hours. I would say I'm a good student. I definitely try to stay ahead and to plan my schedule like smart, depending on like if I'm in season and I'm out of season, like really pushing myself out of season rather than like not stressing myself out when I'm in season.
And running is the only thing, you don't do any other field events?
No, I don't do any field events. I just run.
Okay. All right. Have you ever thought about it? Ever wanted to do anything?
No. Field, honestly, it does seem very interesting. I see like a lot of my teammates when they do like long jump and triple jump. It definitely looks really cool, but I just wouldn't want to do it.
Gotcha. No, that makes excuse me, I'm sorry. That makes sense. So I got one for you. So if I was inspiring to be a track star, so I'm in high school or maybe AAU, and I want to go to the college level, what advice would you give me?
Okay, I have a few little things I would say. One, I would say not to compare like your progress to anyone else's because everyone has different journeys and like what someone is doing at a certain time might not be like what you're able to do at that time, but that doesn't make what you're doing like any less than. Two, I would say to bet on yourself, especially when you start like looking at colleges and talking to college coaches. Some of them won't see your potential and no one knows like your potential more than yourself. So definitely like to bet on yourself and push yourself. And then also just working hard. A lot of times, especially when you get to this level, everyone's talented. So what really sets you apart is like your work ethic and like how much you're willing to put into the sport.
Hmm, okay. And what's too early to get started, in your opinion?
Too early to get started. Honestly, I feel like with track and field, a lot of people do experience like burnout. And I think that depends on like how deep your coaches or like your parents are like pushing you in the sport, like maybe a little too early. I would say probably around like a lot of time when I talk to people that did it like 6 and 7, they kind of fell out of love for it when they got to like high school. So I would say kind of around then. And if you are doing like maybe keeping it like fun and lighthearted, because when you get to this level, like it's obviously serious. Like people do this for a career. So I would say like around 6 to 7.
Okay. Now I seen a video not that long ago. Young lady won a track meet, and after she won, she was celebrating, and they pulled the fire extinguishers out and sprayed her shoes off and all that, and she ended up getting disqualified. So
Wow.
what do you think about or does that happen? Is there any I guess celebration that happens after you win a race, or do you just go back to your seat and say, hey, oh well?
Me personally, I'm not like a big celebrator after I win a race. I did hear about that, and it's really sad that she did get like DQ'd after winning a state title. But I would say it really depends. Like I know in my conference, like the ACC, they don't play about like sportsmanship, so they're really big on like not showboating or doing like any extravagant like celebrations. So I think, I mean, at the end of the day, like you work hard. If you want to celebrate, you want to celebrate. But at a certain point, like some officials and like meets are just really strict with that.
Okay, and they was with this one because she ended up. So I remember this is decades ago. I'm in an indoor track meet running a 4x4 relay. So that's for those who don't know, if I'm not at 4x4, so there's four people on the team. That's the relay team, and they're all running a 400, 4x4. So everybody got to run the 400. But in indoor track, the 400 is like probably 10 laps or 11 or 12 laps around this indoor track. So you're running a lot. So even though you're only running 400 meters, it's like, anyway, I wasn't the fastest, but the fastest, we was in the heat that had the fastest guy. And I'm running the anchor leg. So why they put me at the anchor? I was in a bad school anyway. Don't worry about it. It was high school. But anyway, but my goal was I'm not gonna let this guy beat me, even though he was way faster than me and he was gonna dust me anyway. Almost like how you be beating these people we saw so far. But indoor, it was a lot of bumping. So every time we kind of get in that curve, we locking elbows. And I'm big Jack. I'm a big guy. So I'm keeping my elbow on this guy and wouldn't let him pass me. But he finally passed me. We come in probably like fourth. And I get upset. So I got the baton in my hand and I spiked the baton like a football. Because I'm more upset because not so much upset. It was just like it was a tight race and, bam, disqualified. So it's like you can't do that kind of stuff. So have you ever been in a situation, Sanaa, that you had that person that pushed you to the point of, I don't say frustration, or how did you handle that if you was ever in that situation?
I've never been in a point like that, but I will say, my freshman year at ACCs, a girl that I was racing in the final cut into my lane. And so we were in the same lane the whole last 100 meters, and we were hurdling the same exact hurdles. And like she got in front of me, and she ended up winning. But since she like obviously like she got DQ'd because she wasn't in her lane at the end of it, I had to go through a whole process of like my coach had to protest, and then their team protest and whatever. So I would say that like I was definitely like really upset and confused about like what happened in my race. But yeah, I would say that would be like my experience with it.
Yeah.
Are you so locked in, or was she so locked in that she just didn't realize she was in the wrong lane, or how does that look?
I don't even know. It was one of those things where everyone was just so confused because we were like neck and neck, and then all of a sudden she was beating me by like a big margin. I was so confused. Even her teammate was confused, and she yelled at her like mid race. But the girl didn't know that she was in my lane. Like I guess she got confused, and she just ran in my lane. It was crazy.
And at that point, you weren't close enough for her to really, for you guys to be colliding or anything. So
she like got in front of me, went in front of my hurdle before me,
Wow.
and then yeah, it was crazy.
and you're like, what in the world is going on?
But I guess in the staggered race, that's a good way to take the advantage. Let me start at 9 and jump over there to 7 or 6.
Yeah, that she beat by like a crazy amount, and I remember I was like, what? And then it's because she cut off like a lot of meters.
Gotcha. Yeah, she just took half the lane out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what's the most memorable moment or achievement you had in your track career?
Most memorable moment. That's a good question. I would say one of my favorites was winning ACCs this year, just because coming back from an injury, it can like do a lot mentally and physically. So kind of just like proving to myself that not only like am I back, but like I'm better than what I was as a freshman. That's definitely something that was like weighing a lot on my mind, like coming back from injury. So just being able to like really like take my title back and kind of like show that like just because you have an injury, that doesn't mean you can't come back and be better.
Wow, that's really good. It's a mindset thing too, because you're wondering, did everything set? Did everything take? I being in high school, I broke 2 vertebrae, so I'm a football player with a broken back, and they had to do a lot of surgery for me to go and play college, and to be able to even say I went to college and had a scholarship in college, knowing I had a broken back. But it was in my mind, as you just said, is it going to work? Is it going to take? And that's something that unfortunately for me, that was one of my disadvantages, because then I always thought about the injury, I always thought about the pain I was in, and I never wanted to go back through that. And it took away for me, I was a football player, but it took away my heart. I didn't feel that before I would run through a wall. Like you say, run through a hurdle, I would have ran through the hurdle. It'd be a whole bunch of broken hurdles out there. But at the same time, after I got injured, it wasn't the same. And so for you to bounce back off of an injury and put yourself back into the championship circle and back on the top of the podium is definitely hats off to you, because that's just amazing in itself. That's truly amazing in itself. I got one more race I want to show. You. And I want you to talk to us about it. Because this is really cool. So let's take a quick break, watch this race, and then we'll be back on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. So let me see if I can get this one. This one I like. I like them all, but I really like this race.
Set. And they're off. Women's 400-meter hurdle finals. Wilson, Canty, Catshot, Dixon, Wilson, Hebron, Lorazzo, and Alexandru as they come around. And that, as advertised, Tyra Wilson for the Seminoles, the senior, runner-up in these outdoor championships last year. Now has the lead. Lorazzo trying to come up from Duke as well. So it is Wilson. Actually, that's Dixon from Clemson also in the mix too. But that is Wilson. Wilson will come off the turn now down the home straightaway. Wilson. Hebron trying to close that gap from Miami. Wilson. Hebron. Hebron making a late surge. Look at the line. Hebron might get her. It's going to be
Oh wow.
Hey, man. Hey, wow. And the
Man,
young lady fell, and oh man, everything in that race, son. That
okay.
was yeah.
So
Wow.
what race was that, and what was going through your mind and all of that? Yeah.
That was the ACC finals for the title. I would say that race was like it was really fun to run, and honestly, like I was gonna do whatever I needed to do to win the title. I wanted it really bad, so that was like a huge PB for me too. So all in all, it was just a great race. My whole family came out to watch. My grandma saw me run, and she saw me run the 400 hurdles for the first time in person. So it just meant a lot.
Wow. Well, go ahead, Walt. Go ahead. I
So
see
when
you.
you aren't training, when you aren't in school, is it I'm in the house, Netflix or a book, or is it like I like to go long walks in the park? What do you like to do? What relaxes you? What do you do to just have a day off? You know, what do you how do you have your give me your day off? What does your day off look like?
I would say my day off varies. I love being inside. I really do like watching shows. So either watching shows or watching some movies. And I like food. So it's either going to stay inside or I'm finding like a really nice like food spot in Miami because there's a lot of different food here. So that
So
would be
what's
like
your
two of my go-tos.
so what's your favorite food? I guess it's something that you can't eat when you're training. So what is it? What is it? Your guilty pleasure when it comes to food?
It depends. It really does depend. I love sushi.
Okay.
I would say I do like a good milkshake from time
Okay.
to time. So I would say that would be like my guilty pleasure for sure.
Okay.
So with your skill set now, when I look back when we came up, it was Flo Jo and Jackie Joyner Kersey and all the other ladies in track and field. How I mean, I know the technology has improved as far as the running shoe and training and everything, but the times, what kind of times were they posting compared to the times that you ladies are posting now?
I would say in college it was probably like pretty easy, like 56. Like you might have
Okay.
won like 55. You could have won the whole like national meet. So it's
Okay.
definitely gotten a lot faster. I would say now like 54s, 53s, 52s, like 400 hurdles has gotten a lot faster for
Okay.
sure, especially at the pro level. I feel like every year, every event is getting faster and faster.
Okay.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Now, what's your what they say, your signature on the meet? So everyone comes out with something different. People wear leggings, one leg, no leg, sleeves on their arm. So what is your signature? When I know you from everyone on the track because you do what? What's your signature that you do?
I would say clothing wise, I don't really have one. I used to wear like shin sleeves in high school, but I kind of went away with that when I got into college. I would say for me, it's my hairstyles. I do like two buns, especially like when it's the final day. So I would say that like for me, that's kind of like my trademark for sure.
I got you. So if I know it's final days and you in it because you got the two buns going up, and all right. So if I didn't see anybody else out there, I know that you're out there because the two buns up. That's what's
Yes.
up. So you like Tiger Woods to put on red and it on Sunday. So yours two buns. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I'm super excited for all that you're doing and all that you're going to do. We're wishing you a lot of success in track and field and going to the pro trials. And that's so we got Olympics coming up. Got some time to get there. Is that something that you desire to have a chance at making
Yes.
a team?
Yes, for sure. That is something that I'm really looking forward to work towards and pushing myself to get to that point.
Okay, all right. Now, how does
So
it work for college and as far as with like football? I know they have NIL. Basketball has NIL. So, is that something that's in the track and field world, or?
Track definitely has NIL. I have an NIL partnership with Adidas. So I'm partnered with them for NIL. I know you can have different brand deals. Like it's definitely less than football and like basketball, but a lot of people do like different things for NIL throughout track and field.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna throw this out there because I know your dad. I know your dad, I know your mom, I know both. Do you think that you had any form of advantage because of who your dad was? Did it open up any doors being at that professional level, or you think that was a disadvantage?
I would say it was definitely an advantage. My dad knows like a lot, obviously like what it takes to be a professional athlete because he was there. But then also too, like just with like recruiting and stuff like that, since my dad's like been through the process, I would say like getting insight about like what it's like before actually going through it. I would say it's an advantage to have like a dad that was at that level of, obviously it's not track and field, but football, like just as hard, argue harder. So being able to have someone that's like been in that position much earlier than me and like can offer like insight and honestly like give me advice about just sports in general and like what it takes to be great.
No, that's cool. It's good to know. A lot of times, a lot of people don't have anyone to turn to, and they just don't know the ins and outs about that. And I know you said you have other siblings, and you were not the first one to go to school for even for track. So even with that, this is having that your siblings that's out there performing, and then you're performing. That's pretty cool. And I hear. I'm watching the videos and I'm listening to the shouting in the stands, and it's like you have a lot of support while you're there. So, do your family travel well with you, or do you look up in the stands to see where they are, or how does that work for you?
My dad comes to like almost every single meet. He records, edits videos, has little outfits with my face on it. My mom comes when she can do like work. At the track meet at ACC, she had a cute little shirt with me on it. So honestly, like just having my parents there, they're like my two biggest fans. So it's just really nice to have like that big of a support system that I know is like really there for me. So.
Oh, that's cool. No, that really is cool. It's just you always want that support, and I know when you're running and you got the last 30 meters to go, like we just watched the race, and hearing them shouting and saying move and move, and I mean, it's just amazing how you finished that last race. I'm just like, that was crazy, because I know you mentioned earlier how the muscles be tightening up on you, but I was more. Did you notice the person that fell when you was in that last turn? Did you notice that, or?
It's kind of like, especially with hurdles, like it happens. I would say it's kind of like in your peripheral, but you're not like really focused because there's nothing you can do. So it's kind of in like your peripheral, like dang, and then you kind of just lock back in. I would say it's more like what it is.
Yeah, because it was a pretty bad looking fall when we look at it on video. I was more impressed by the announcer, because I'd have been like, "Ooh," but he did. He just kept going with the race, and
he called it. He kept going.
Yeah, he kept going. Have you ever had a time like that where you just didn't clear the hurdle, or?
I have in college, no, but when I did in high school, I tried short hurdles my senior year. And I ended up not making states because I fell at like not in the long hurdles, but it was in the short hurdles. I fell at like hurdle 8, and then I was like in the top 2, and I fell at hurdle 8, and then I tried getting back up real quick, and I fell again, and that was just like, dang, it was very unfortunate. My bib was on the ground. I was crying. I would say like when I fell, all the hurdlers on like social media, like all my friends were like, now you're officially a true hurdler. So I would say like every hurdler, you got to fall at least once. And it kind of like just teaches you like it happens.
That right there is what separates a hurdler from everybody else out on the track, because a lot of people don't want that. They don't want nothing to do with it. I don't think there's another, except for like the steeplechase or whatever, the decathlons and all, that you have an obstacle that you have to get over, and it can wipe you out if you don't. So that's crazy. And it was funny because I didn't realize. I mean, I knew you was coming out the blocks, but just you got to worry about the blocks, then you got to worry about the hurdle, then you got to, so it's a lot that you got in your mind. So that's good. So hats off to you. And definitely, so you're in your junior season. Is this your junior year?
I'll be starting my junior season because I redshirted. So I'm a senior in the books, but a junior on the track.
Got you. Okay, so go ahead, Walt.
When you back to the hurdle with the young lady that fell. So when you fell, what's the penalty for knocking over a hurdle? Is it a DQ? If you still win the race, like do they take time off of your race? How does that work?
It depends. So It depends. For that girl, I believe she still got up and finished, so she didn't get DQ'd or anything. Only time you get DQ'd in 400 hurdles is if like you fell in someone's lane and it like impeded the person next to you and like maybe messed them up. You can get DQ'd. In short hurdles, a lot of times like if a girl like trips and get backs up, they'll like push the hurdle down and you can get DQ'd because like now you touch the hurdle. So it really just depends. Like if you ruin someone else's race because you fell, or like if you push the hurdle, that's going to be a DQ because now you used your hands.
So if you win the race, if you knocked over a hurdle, did not clear a hurdle, and actually won the race, you can still be the winner even though you knocked down a hurdle. That's fair game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you jumped it, you tried to jump it, you just hit
got over it. Like there's a couple rules with 400 hurdles, like hooking. If you don't like go around, like if you go around the hurdle instead of over the hurdle, you can get DQ'd for that. But as long as you like went over but you hit it, like, and if you got back, like, stay in your lane, you can still win. Yeah.
You can still win. Okay, cool.
No, that's now is all of Miami under Adidas or is it just you?
So our school is sponsored by Adidas. Like that's like who's our our sponsor. Like we all have like Adidas like merchandise and that's what our uniforms are. But at my school, I think I'm the only athlete that I know of that is partnered with Adidas. I signed like about a year and some change ago. So
okay.
I
know.
Best life.
3-stripe life. Yes, that 3-stripe life. Yes.
That's good. Man, that's good. That's good. So what we're coming to the end of the show, and we definitely thank you for being on here. And I want to give you the stage as you've done. If there's anything that you want to share and want to put out, that this is your turn to whatever it is that's on your mind to share with us. Is there anything that you would like to share before we close out the show?
I just wanted to say thank you for having me, and thank you for anybody that tuned in to watch and just like listen to what we had to say. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed being able to converse with y'all.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. It's a pleasure. I mean, sometimes we have so many different guests on the show from all different angles, but we always trying to learn something, and we're trying to learn something new, something different. And your experiences on the track and off the track, and I know it's a lot more that we didn't even get into because you've been able to travel not just around the country, but you've been able to travel out the country to run and at the world stage and actually win at the world stage. So that's just amazing in itself. I don't know if where all your medals and trophies are, maybe at your parents' home, or do you have your own trophy case in your apartment or whatever. But it's cool to be able to look back and say, hey, I'm pretty good at this, without tooting my own horn. I'm pretty good at this. But you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort. So super excited for you. But with that being said, we're going to Walt, you got anything before we close out the show?
I'd just like to say congratulations, and I hope you achieve your immediate goals, especially with school and the Olympics. And I know, track and field is not, it has a shelf life, so to speak. So whatever you decide to do with your education, because I know you're a student athlete, say 10, 15 years from now, much success to you. The mindset that you have is going to take you a long way. You have a great support system, and I'm sure you will pay it forward for some young ladies coming up behind you. So I'm sure that's the way it goes. So congratulations, and keep up the good work. We'll be following your career, and I'm pulling for you. And I get to say I had the pleasure of having a conversation with you. We knew you win.
So one thing that happens for anyone that's on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show, the moment that you have completed the show, you become a Hall of Famer. So we don't have to send you any. So if you have anything that you need to share with us, because we're invested in you now. Yes. So if you're like, hey, I want to share that I just won all world or whatever, I made the Olympic team, we want you to come back and share that so we can put it out to all those who watch this and those who are going to watch after this, so that we can continue to follow you and see how things are going. So, and I'm going to ask you just to hang on once we close out this show, and we'll be chatting just a little bit. So just hang on, don't go anywhere. So thank you everyone who tuned in to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show today with my man Big Walt. We had Sanaa Hebron with us. We thank you all for being with us and hanging with us. And until next time, we ask you all to stay blessed and peace, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Be safe, everybody.